Welcome to the Health by Haven podcast. I'm your host, Haven Quinlan. If you're a multi-passionate wellness enthusiast, then you're in the right place. I'm obsessed with learning as much as I can about the wellness world, and I want to share that with you. Each episode will dive into various aspects of health and wellness through inspiring and informative guest interviews with some solo episodes thrown in. Tune in for all things health, and let's have some fun, shall we? All right, y'all. I'm calling today's episode the Toughen Up Buttercup episode. So strap in, people. You're here for a pep talk. If you don't want that, maybe you need it, but you can save this for another day. But as I'm recording, it is January 17th, and we're a couple of weeks into the new year. I don't know where you're living, but here in Tennessee, it has been freezing cold. It snowed last weekend, which was so fun. I love the snow. I personally like the cold, but it has been like bitterly cold. And if your workouts are outdoors, like some of mine are right now, anytime I go on a run, it's outside because I don't have access to a treadmill. It's really freaking cold. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm not going to lie, I love running, but I don't always want to go out on my run. And this week in particular has been that. So Wednesday I had a track workout, and this morning I had 6 miles on the calendar. Both days I did not want to go. I was going solo instead of running with somebody, which is a bit less fun for me to start with. And it was so cold, and my hands get so freezing in the cold. And I was making every excuse in the book in my head to myself, trying to convince myself it's okay to not go out on my run. But I am training for a marathon, which requires consistency. It requires focus. It requires putting the miles in and putting the work in. And so I had to give myself a little pep talk and get out and get it done. And this is not at all meant to be like, oh, look at me, I'm so amazing, I got my workout in the 20-degree weather. No, not at all. This is for anyone who sees me running all the time on social media or on Strava, and they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I was that motivated. Because newsflash, it's not always motivation that gets me out the door. It's not always motivation that gets people up and moving. It's about habits, and it's about discipline. So a lot of days I am really pumped to go out for my run. I truly love it. But on those days, like Wednesday, like this morning, when I did not want to get out and get going, that is when I have to let my habits and my discipline take over. So rather than letting it be a conversation in my head, rather than letting it be a decision point, the decision's already been made. I made my training plan. This is what I'm doing for the day. I'm getting out and I'm getting it done. That way, I'm not relying to be motivated every single day, because every day is different. Some days we're going to be tired. Some days we're not going to be in the mood. Some days things are going to come up that we want to use as an excuse. But if you truly have a goal that you're wanting to achieve, you have to be able to rely on multiple things to keep you on track rather than just motivation. I talked about this in my Pure Barre class this morning. Choosing to be uncomfortable for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour and a half, however long your workout is so much better than choosing to be uncomfortable every other minute of your day because you're not taking care of yourself. That's something I like to remind myself when I don't feel like it. It helps me come back to my purpose. It helps me prioritize myself when it's so easy to prioritize other people, work, tasks, to-do list, cleaning, anything that you can think of that could set you off track from taking care of yourself. And I think this could also be advice, not even just for getting your movement in the daytime, but anything that you know you'll be better for doing that you don't necessarily want to do. Go back to that larger picture and start to build little habits each day. So I know this is a time of year, people set a million different New Year's resolutions and it's all at once. And I'm going to do 10 extra things in my routine every single day. And I'm going to not do X, Y, and Z. And this is where I think it's a good time to pull back a little bit, pick one habit, one healthy habit that you want to change, and start with that. And be consistent and make a promise to yourself that you're going to do what you set out to do. Because think about all the people that you make promises to every day, or you make commitments to that you follow through on because you say, oh, I owe this person this thing. I want to keep my word. But how many times do you break your word to yourself? So try to pick one thing you can do, whether it's a 10-minute walk in the morning. That could be your start, and it will be so much better. You'll be so much better for going for it because your mind will be clear. You'll have endorphins. You'll feel better. And honestly, I find with movement, if I don't want to do it, I tell myself, okay, 10 minutes or okay, 20 minutes. Then I get to decide if I want to keep going. And 99% of the time, the endorphins are flowing. You start feeling good. Your mind clears. If you're having an anxious day, it can help with that. If you're having a stressful day, it can help with that. If you're having an overwhelming day, it can help with that. And then you want to continue because you feel better physically and you feel better mentally, and you're proud of yourself for doing something that will benefit you, and it will pour over into your work, into your lives of your loved ones and other people that you interact with every day. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. If you're looking for an excuse, I am not your girl. And obviously, of course, there are times when you need to listen to your body. If you're sick, if you're injured, if you are absolutely exhausted and running on fumes, of course, listen to your body. But be honest with yourself. If it's a day when you're just looking for an excuse and you are perfectly capable of doing something that your long-term self will thank you for, do it. I promise you, you'll feel so much better afterwards. You'll feel so much prouder. And then you're more likely to keep those promises to yourself in the future because you're used to following through for yourself. I hope this was just a little quick snippet of motivation. If you needed a little kick in the pants, you have to be your own biggest cheerleader because I'm cheering you on. You absolutely can take care of yourself. You absolutely can prioritize yourself, even if it's tiny little things. 5 minutes a day to close your eyes and take a breath. 5 minutes a day to read a book. 10 minutes a day to go on a walk. Do something for yourself so that then you can show up better for others. Hope you guys have a great day, a wonderful week. We'll be back next week with a very exciting guest episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Health by Haven podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to give the show a 5-star rating and leave a review. It makes such a huge difference in reaching new people and spreading the joy of healthy living. I would also be so appreciative if you subscribe to the show in the listening app of your choice so you never miss an episode. Your support truly means the world to me. Have a happy, healthy day, and I'll talk to you again soon.